Hey guys, I've been out for a while. Now I'm back again with some cool stuff. But before that, a lot of people have asked me how to set up a lab in VirtualBox because it seems difficult for people in VirtualBox and VMware is not free. So best alternative is VirtualBox. I'll tell you how to set up a VirtualBox because it's not easy. And first I'll set up how not to set up a lab, and then I'll tell you how to set up a lab. Okay, first of all you need to download VirtualBox. Okay, I have already downloaded it here, and then download Kali VirtualBox. That's easy, so you can directly start the machine without any hassle. All right, and then you need to download Metasploitable. Okay, and then download Pfsense. Okay, downloading Pfsense, you need to select the architecture which you want to download it. I have selected AMD 64, and here I have selected a DVD ISO image. Okay, I'm not going to install it in USB, so I'm going to directly install in a virtual machine. Okay, you can select any one of these. Okay, it's gonna download anyway. Some are a bit faster based on your location, some are okay. So you can still download from any location. All right, first I'll tell you how not to install it in a virtual machine. Okay, once these are downloaded, it shows a different kind of a zip formats, right? 7z, zip, and gz. You're gonna need some common extractor for all of these. Okay, but I choose 7-zip. Okay, it seems something like this. So this is much more easier to work with, and one of them is already 7-zip. Okay, so you just download whichever version your operating system is, and after installing, it doesn't detect automatically which compressor you're using and which one to open with. Okay, you can directly open with here open archive, or if you want to make it a default, you can go here, more apps, click on this, click on 7-zip, and then here you can see this icon here. This executable is 7-zip file manager. Okay, you can open it with it. Okay, here I am going to directly open it like this, and then extract the virtual machines. You have to wait for one thing to extract, and then you can go for the second one. Once you've done with extracting one of the archives, you can do the same thing for others as well. Right click, open archive, and then extract. It's as simple as that. Alright, once these are extracted, you no longer need this. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna keep everything in one single directory like ISO images. Okay, next thing I want to do is set up a lab which doesn't work. Okay, so the wrong way to do it. Okay, here it is empty. So first thing you need to do is create an image. So first of all, it comes as a VirtualBox, so you can directly import it or add. Okay, offensive security, labs, VirtualBox, Kali image, VBox. That's it. Okay, next thing you want to add is this Metasploitable image. Adding this can be a little bit tricky because this is the image. Okay, all these are configuration files, so you need to configure before you add it. Okay, so let's try to add it. You'll see there's nothing. Okay, So you cannot add it directly, so you need to create an image like so, and then you have to say metasploitable, and then you select a location, Offensive Security Labs VBox Metasploitable Linux, or else you can create another directory, but you don't need to. Okay, select this folder, ISO image. Here it's a tricky part. Okay, you don't have an ISO, right? So what do you need to do? You need to select Linux and click next. Okay, you don't have an image, so you can select 2 gigabytes, but it's not required. Okay, 1 gigabyte should do it. Okay, here you have to select existing hard drive. So in this existing hard drive, you can add Offensive Security Labs VBox Metasploitable image and this one. Okay, here you can see VMDK. So VMDK stands for virtual machine disk. Yeah, that's all. And then you can choose that and click OK. So that you have chosen, and click next. So that should add Metasploitable for you, and let's run both of them and see if each is able to ping each other. So using VirtualBox can be a little bit tricky, because it's going to ask to remember this one. Okay, right control. Okay, once you enter into it, you have to click right control to get out of it. Okay, so you don't see a mouse right now, but if you click right control, you'll see the mouse again. You can go outside. Okay, click on it, don't show this message again, and right control. Okay, right control to get out of it. All right, so let these both machines run, and if you forgot like which button to come out of this, you can remember always here it mentions right control. Okay, you can use that. Let's see the network configuration of both of these. It is NAT. It is also NAT, which means this VirtualBox is acting as a wired connection to both of these machines, which you might think I think it's better if I show what I mean. So the username and password is msfadmin and msfadmin. Okay, so I'll just do ifconfig to check what the IP address is. So you can see 10.0, you can see here 10.02.15. Okay, let's see here, Kali. Okay, it's a default password and username. So once it is up and running, so click on this terminal, and if you type ifconfig, you might see that it is also 10.02.15. so can you ping this one? I don't think so. So when you try to ping 10.02.15, so what is it going to do? So it's going to ping itself. Okay, 10.02.15, 10.02.15. So it is going to ping itself, it's not going to go outside. Okay, if you try to open 10.02.15, it's not going to open. .10.02.15, so you won't see anything. Okay, there is no server running, because what it is trying to do, it's trying to ping itself. Let me show you in my own machine. Okay, I'll try IP config, and let me find my wireless adapter 10.0.192.168.115. okay, I'll just try to ping that. So what is going to do? Going to ping itself. Okay, it's less than 1 millisecond. So nothing goes less than 1 millisecond unless it is localhost. Okay, so it is pinging the same way. Okay, see, it's less than 0.025 milliseconds. So what you need to do, you cannot run a virtual machine like this, and you cannot run a lab setup like this. So you need some medium to act as a router to both of these machines to connect each other. Okay, for that purpose you need Pfsense. I'll just turn off both of them. Okay, sudo power off msf admin. Okay, this is the safer way to do it, and here is the power off. If you try to close it, the kernel may crash sometimes, so don't do it. So turn off in this way so that it will be better. Okay, sudo power off. So what you need to do now is add a new machine. Okay, and Pfsense, and here you see ISO image. Oh shoot. Okay, I'll just create another directory, call it Pfsense, another S, and select this folder. Okay, and next the ISO image. So I have to go back and select this ISO. Where's that ISO? Okay, here, right. Next, what you have to do is type, it doesn't know which ISO it is, which ISO category it is, but if you go and search which type of ISO it is, okay, you have to search in this way that Pfsense is running on OS. Okay, so it is running on FreeBSD OS. Okay, so you have to select FreeBSD for this. Okay, BSD type. Next, okay, one more thing, this is a 64-bit OpenBSD, FreeBSD. Okay, and then you have to click next, and then 1 gig is enough, 1 CPU is enough. Okay, next, to create a hard disk. Now don't click on this because it will pre-allocate all this, or if you want a standard Pfsense thing, okay, so you can check on it. So create a 10 gigs, that should be enough. Okay, and click on next and next. So that sets this up. So before you power this on, so you need to set up a configuration of a network. Okay, so you need 2 adapters for this kind of configuration. I'll just show you how it looks like. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, I'll just make it a little bigger. Okay, so here is your PC. Okay, here it is outside connection, which is your router and other things. Okay, you don't need to care about this, you need to care about this setup. Okay, right here. So you have Kali machine, you have vulnerable machine. So when you connect into a Mac, okay, it just directly connects to this and directly connects to this in a NAT format. Both can access internet, but they cannot access each other. So that's what we are looking for, right? That is actual lab setup. So what you need to do is you need to create this kind of Pfsense firewall. So this can act as a router, a DNS firewall. All of this exists in this single Pfsense software. Okay, so once you run this Pfsense, you need to enable two adapters. So one is a NAT connection over here, and one is internal network. Okay, NAT connection directly takes connection from my PC, and then it distributes the connections to the internal network right here. Okay, so here one is NAT connection, that is okay, and second one you need to enable the adapter and set it to internal network. Okay, you can set it up to any network, but for now I'm just choosing whatever is default. Okay, so and what about the other two? So other two have to be internal network. Okay, make sure all of them have same internal network name. Okay, so internal network name should be same for all of them. Okay, once you set this up, fire this up first before you fire any of these up. Okay, fire this one up. So it's gonna auto start. So mind you that if you do not set up the network which I have shown like this, so you will not be able to run Pfsense. Okay, so keep in mind that. Okay, so I'll just go with the installation process, and then I'll explain some things later. So install, you have to hit enter. So continue with default key map. Here use the BIOS version. Okay, don't use the ZFS. Okay, use BIOS. So once the installation is over, so it's gonna ask for a reboot, and before you reboot you need to disconnect the ISO image from here. Yeah, it's showing the installation is finished now. Before exiting the installation, would you like to open a shell? No. Okay, and then you can reboot the machine. Okay, it's trying to reboot, but you have to close it, okay, before it reboots. So what you need to do now is go to settings, go to storage, remove this attachment. Okay, it doesn't belong here, so no need for all this, no need for that ISO image anymore. So you have already installed everything you need in your Pfsense. Okay, you can start this machine and it will automatically boot up. Okay, so it means that the NAT connection which is there, it is EM0. We have seen that NAT connection shows this type of configuration, so 10.0.2.15. okay, so once the connection reaches from here to here, so this now acts as a DHCP server and assigns the IP addresses to all the internal machines. Now you need to understand that this is the network that these two machines will be in. Okay, so once you fire up these machines, so this Pfsense is automatically going to assign 192 address. Okay, okay, let's log into Metasploitable MSF admin. So I have config. You see that this has 100 address. Okay, 192.168.1.100. okay, here you see that because it is 100, which means that this booted up first, so Pfsense decided to assign address to this metasploitable machine. Okay, so we can guess that Pfsense assigns the IP addresses from 1.100 and then the next machine will be 101. So you can guess like that. So let's see. As you can see, the machine address is 1.101. Okay, this booted the second, so its address is 101. Okay, so this is first, this is second. So now the details are done, so let's try to ping both of them. Okay, 192.168.1.100. okay, it's able to ping this. Okay, let's try to use the same IP address. As you can see, the Kali machine detected this IP address and it loaded all these applications. So what happened is, so the previously when it was 10.0.2.15, so the IP address did not detect this metasploitable. Now it detected. So let's see if it's able to connect the internet. Okay, it is still able to connect internet. Okay, if it doesn't connect to internet, you can have some configuration. Okay, so let's try to ping Google in this. Yeah, so here I'm able to connect to the internet, but if you cannot connect to the internet, you have to follow these steps. Okay, so the IP address is 192.168.1.1 because that is the DHCP server. Here you can see that it's asking for a warning, so you just allow it. Okay, so this is the Pfsense server. So the username and password is admin and password is Pfsense. Okay, it's saying welcome to Pfsense. This is the wizard. Okay, so you see, you can go with the defaults, you don't have to worry that much. Okay, everything is same. Override DNS. Okay, sometimes this overrides the DNS, so you can assign the primary DNS server and secondary DNS server. Okay, you can set the primary DNS server as this and the secondary DNS server as this. Okay, so this information will be sent to the new system. Okay, whichever comes into this VirtualBox. Okay, whenever the new machine is added to the internal network, so that machine will have this information here. So the host name is this is the domain, and this is the primary and secondary DNS server. Okay, this will override this information. Okay, right, next, and this you can set it up as it is, and you can set this time zone if you need, but I don't require that. You can go with any time zone. And here, this is a WAN setup. You don't have to configure it, you can go with the defaults. So it is saying 32 subnet mask, you cannot change it. Okay, so it's decided by the Pfsense itself. So you can have block private networks, you don't have to block anything. Okay, so this is a lab setup, so you don't have to block anything, you can experiment as you want. Okay, so next, LAN IP. Okay, admin password. Okay, the admin password is Pfsense, and you can type Pfsense as well. So yeah, click reload to reload the Pfsense with new changes. So Pfsense is reloading, so here it is done. Okay, Now you have to go to services and the DHCP server and check its configuration here. Okay, so its range starts from 10 to 245. Okay, this is good. So now it looks like the subnet mask is this, so it is able to assign IP addresses from here to here. So next you can assign whatever configuration you need, but these are all irrelevant right now. Let's go for DNS resolver. Let's check that. So enable DNS resolver. So it is in port 53 by default. You can set it up with any other port number if you want, and yeah, this should be there. DNS query forwarding. So all these settings should be done if you do not access internet from Kali machine or Metasploitable. Okay, you don't need to set when you have the internet access, right? You can save this configuration. Right, let's see. Right, let's try to connect to the internet. Eight dot 8.8.8. So the internet is working. So you can also check like this. It's going to kali.org. Okay, everything seems to be working right now. Okay, this is how you set up a virtual machine lab, okay, or a hacking lab or a CTF lab, whichever you want to call it, in VirtualBox. Okay, now you can safely power off these two. So hope you get this idea of creating a lab. Okay, so just to summarize, we have seen how not to set up a lab, and next we have seen how to set up a lab. In Pfsense, you have to set up it as two network adapters. So one is for NAT network, one is for internal network. Okay, once you set up those two, and then you have to power on the machines. Okay, and the other machines have to be in internal network. Okay, and if you do not able to ping the internet in any of these two machines, okay, you have to configure the Pfsense as I've shown in the video. Okay, once you have done all those, you will be able to access the internet. Okay, and the lab will be completely working.